United.
Hello, people. It's your boy Osman back again with another Manchester United podcast. Don't know we record at this time, but nevertheless, had to just come on and speak my piece regarding yesterday's performance. There's a lot to dissect. As always, please do slap a like on the video and, of course, subscribe to the channel. First things first, right? I just want to say 100th podcast. A massive milestone. Obviously, not just podcast in general, My United podcast. I've been doing this for a while, to be quite frankly honest, and to be honest with you guys, like, it's been a great journey. It really has. Like, it's been a great journey. I know recently I hasn't been as consistent with my content. I can't get my words out. It's very early. I haven't been as consistent with my content, and just in general, like, just not been uploading really. I've got a lot of other things going on in my life at the moment with the commitments, that kind of thing. But that aside, it's just been a great opportunity for me to really get you guys feedback, learn from my mistakes, learn on how I can improve as a presenter, as a host of a podcast, and just in general, my capabilities to speak in front of the camera have improved so much through doing these podcasts. And that was the sole purpose of me initially starting, for me to upskill myself. That was the reason I initially started YouTube. And that has been the reason. I've met some incredible people within that 100 podcasts. Obviously, they know who they are. So many of them have come and gone, which is completely fine. Some of them doing absolutely incredible things, and I'm proud to have affiliated with them people. So for me personally, it's been a great journey. I'm going to continue doing podcasts. If you're watching this for the first time, please do subscribe to the channel. Like I said, it has been a busy couple of months for me, and alhamdulillah, I'm completely grateful for the opportunities that I have had. Just to quickly recap, man, I commented at Old Trafford like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and just to have the confidence to do that is just unreal. That honestly, like, it's just an absolute madness. To sit there and commentate at Old Trafford, that's something that, I've gone from sat here in my bedroom to doing that is absolutely incredible. Like, I'm just so grateful for the support, firstly, and I'm just so grateful for the lessons that I've learned through doing the podcast, and that's something that I hold deeply. And for me, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that tunes in. I know my viewership isn't great. People probably look at my views and think, what the hell, why is this guy even bothering? But for the 20, 30 people that have stuck by me since day one, I'm truly grateful for your guys' support. You guys know you are. People like James, obviously United Way, people like that, like, you guys have literally just stuck by me, man, regardless of how low my views are. You guys are always tuning into every single show, man. So thank you. I appreciate it, man. 100, hopefully another 100 to come. But like I said, the next month I'm going to be very consistent with my content. I haven't got other commitments now, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I'm a bit more dedicated to this because I've got some time. So thank you for the support. And just to hopefully stick by me. I just want to get a quick shout out to my brother quickly as well. Both my brothers are actually in the chat. But first things first, the United Way, aka my older brother. This guy has done so much for me on the channel. So 100 would not have been achievable without us. Honest to God, just as you can see, there's no thumbnails at the moment because he's extremely busy, which is completely fine. But this channel would not have survived for this long without hearing all his work that he's done behind the scenes. The art, everything, man. This has done so much for me to support, just constantly pushing me to improve and better myself. And regardless of the views, to keep going, which is the most important thing. At the end of the day, the views have got to me, I'm not going to lie, because I feel like I deserve more. But at the same time, it continue to remind me that, it's important to hone in your craft, and it's important to remember why you start, which was to put content out, give my opinion, and hopefully improve my ability to speak in the camera, which I feel I'm at a decent level now. Obviously, you can be the judge of that, which is completely fine. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support. Shout out to Ty as well, always supporting the channel. End of the season now, we will be getting to that very shortly. my other brothers here as well. Good to see both here. 100 milestone and all that. Shout out to Darren Osho and Love, Eyes in the Ball. Shout out to you boys as well. You know, it's an absolute pleasure having to collab with you guys. Ten Hag to come in and take us back to glory is hopefully, my brother. Hopefully, we'll be getting to that very shortly. Congratulations. The dedication is truly inspiring, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hats off to us as well. Absolutely. I'm just going to leave that on the screen because Wasim deserves his flowers without a shadow of a doubt. The amount of work this guy's done behind closed doors. Unbelievable amount of support. I don't think I'll be able to thank him, to be quite honest with you. But listen, we got to 100. Like I said, I'm going to stay consistent. Hopefully, continue to support me. 10, 20, 30, 40 people, whoever turns up and watches this video on repeat or wherever it may be. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. Thank you so much for supporting me. And you know, just keep supporting, brother, and sharing all that good stuff. But listen, let's get on to today's topic. Today's conversation, and of course it is Manchester United screwing up. Of course it would be not the way I want to do the 100th show, but sadly I'm not on the pitch and I can't influence what happens within the United team. So it is what it is. A rumor second that Ten Hag was Usman in his backroom staff. To be honest, I think I belong there. You know, 6 years of coaching, quite clearly know what I'm talking about. But yeah, listen, we'll get into that very shortly. Honestly, I keep forgetting I'm fasting, so let's just quickly talk about the fact that it's Ramadan first and foremost, right? Because I've forgotten that I'm fasting about 7 times. I've just forgotten right now as well. I was just about to say I need a drink of water, but obviously I can't do that. So, so please forgive me if I'm just slurring my words because I need a drink of water. That is nothing else, of course. But yeah, so yeah. First and foremost, Ramadan Mubarak to everyone that is celebrating. May Allah make it a blessed month for you and your family, and inshallah we can try and make the most of it. Me, on a personal level, just quickly, I really want to try and improve myself on every aspect, obviously spiritually, physically as much as I can, and mentally as well. So hopefully this is a blessed month for you and your families. Inshallah, I'm going to try and talk about that a lot more during this month. Like I said, I'm going to be uploading every single day, so I'm going to try and throw little things in there as well to obviously try help others as well as myself. Shout out to Nippon, always showing love and absolute Reuben. And as the brother said, I mean, get in the commentary box. Yeah, love to see it. Right, okay, enough of that. Ramadan, but thank you, Nippon. Absolute legend. I appreciate you. God bless you, man. And hopefully you are doing well, my guy. Hopefully your interview goes well as well. I'm sure you absolutely nailed that because you're an absolute ledge. Right, okay, let's get into it. I have got my phone now, which is obviously nice to have a second phone. You know, not drug dealer, nothing, just is what it is. But yeah, so hopefully the stream's okay because God knows my internet connection. But yeah, so I got my second phone, which means I've got show notes, which is fantastic. So we're going to start from yesterday's performance. So first thing first. Manchester United won, Leicester won. I don't even know where to start. There's so much to start. We don't deserve top 4. Race is over, and the same players will leave. Promise. Ronaldo is upset. Yeah, he's definitely going to leave. Keenan worked overtime yesterday just to get home and watch that. We'll make Goodison Park look like bro. Keenan, shout out to you, man. This is complete fact. Hopefully Everton's a better performance because it's an absolute embarrassment. But yeah, let's. I don't know where to start. Where should I start? I don't actually know where to start. There's so much to talk about. Should I start with Ronaldo? I mean, let's just start with Cristiano Ronaldo because obviously in the title, if you have seen it, is Ronaldo the problem? That is the question that I want to just quickly unpack before we get into the deeper issues at the club. Look, first things first. You know, a lot of people have been talking about Cristiano Ronaldo as the problem at Manchester United. For me personally, I've been very consistent with what I've said regarding Cristiano Ronaldo. I've criticised him when he's not performed well, and I've also stuck by what I've said initially, which for me is Ronaldo was never the problem at Manchester United. You know, without Ronaldo in the team, I believe in the Premier League in particular, we've had 5 games and we've secured 4 points, 4 draws and 1 loss against Man City. You could say he would not made a difference in that game, which is completely fine, but he definitely made a difference against Tottenham Hotspur. So you never know, Ronaldo is capable of extraordinary things. But nevertheless, is Ronaldo the problem? Let me know in the chat. Obviously, I'm going to be as interactive as I possibly can because it's a one-to-one show. I can be very interactive with the comment section, so please keep getting your comments in. Obviously we'll put them on the screen and obviously interact, you know, just a bit of back and forth, so to speak. But yeah, regarding the Ronaldo situation, for me, I've said consistently it's not the problem, and I'm happy he didn't play yesterday because it clearly highlights the bigger issue, which is the group of players at Manchester United Football Club. For me personally, you could say Ronaldo's the problem, which is fine, that's your opinion, but the bigger issue has always been the group of players. The mentality within the team for me has been weak for a long period. You know, someone says because of Ollie, someone says because of the board, the lack of standards. We'll get into that shortly as well. But regarding the Ronaldo situation, you got Cavani who's never fit. You've got Marcus Rashford, who's completely avoided confidence. You got Martial, who's run off to Sevilla and done what he's done, which is absolutely nothing. Scored like 1 goal. I believe Fred scored more goals in the same time. And then you got number 11, who's an absolute waste man. Let's not even get into him. But for me personally, just the Ronaldo situation, I just think a lot of players have been using that as an excuse to hide away from the actual issues. A lot of the players have been hiding behind, oh, Ronaldo's a problem, and they've not been held accountable, to be quite frank honest with you. Some players have, like the Brunos, the Pogbas, maybe the Rashford to an extent, the Maguire. Some players have definitely been held accountable, but their overall squad has not been held accountable because every news article is talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, not talking about the issues within the actual squad. And for me personally, it's been a massive thorn in our side this season. So many people have been getting away with absolute murder on the pitch because Ronaldo is always the headline. And rightfully so, he's the world-class player, and understandably, he will get the brunt of the criticism. And I get that. But for me, it's just been able to mask the issues at the club, which is massively deep-rooted within the squad. You know, a lot of the players, for me personally, are nowhere near fit enough to wear the shirt. You know, they're either squad players at best, or they need to get sold and they need to get moved on. And for me, Ronaldo being there has really, it's just really allowed him to have an excuse or a get out of jail free card because everyone just blames him and it's an easy way out. So for me, Cavani, as Keenan just said, 12 games played in the league and started 6, averaging 51 minutes. I mean, it's just not acceptable. Where's Cavani been? Absolutely embarrassing. I don't think Ronaldo is the problem. I think he's in the league of his own and the rest of the players can't gel with him and play. Absolutely facts. I mean, that is just complete spot on that. They're nowhere near his level mentally, physically, in terms of their ability. They're nowhere near his level. They've never been able to keep up. Ronaldo was the kind of player you got to bring in to complete the jigsaw, complete the puzzle. And we brought him in to try and salvage that absolute mess that is Manchester United. And people will say last season we finished second without Ronaldo, and yeah, that is completely factual. But last season Liverpool were absolutely shocking. Let's apply context. Liverpool were absolutely horrendous last season. Chelsea were absolutely shocking last season. They had to sack Frank Lampard. Okay, granted they just got beaten 4-1 yesterday, but bar the Brentford result, Chelsea have been steady. You know, they've done their thing, whatever it may be. But teams above us have gone back to their level, and Man United have completely plummeted well below where they should be, to be quite honest with you. And I feel like a lot of that has been masked with Ronaldo. Everyone's blaming Cristiano Ronaldo. And for me, it's not acceptable. At the end of the day, it's easy to blame Ronaldo. But let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at every single player and account for their performances this season. Because a lot of them have been below 2 out of 10. Like, no one has been good this season. Like, Ronaldo aside, even games when Ronaldo hasn't played, as I mentioned, 5 in the league, we've drawn 4 and we've lost 1. And Ronaldo didn't play yesterday, so who are we blaming now? And that's the point I'm making. Everyone is easy to blame Cristiano Ronaldo, but when he's not there, who are we blaming? Because he's not there to blame. So for me, look at the bigger picture. Cristiano Ronaldo was never the problem for me. And I stick by what I said at the start of the season. People need to stop blaming him. How can he be a problem? If anything, he's a blessing. He's coming in with all his experience and all his wealth of knowledge and his ability to be such a clutch player. And these guys are just sat there moaning about, oh, Ronaldo's training too hard. Ronaldo's asking so much of us. I mean, if that doesn't scream out weak mentality, I don't know what does. And it's just the mentality at the club. You got Ronaldo coming in and the players are complaining because he's asking too much of them. How are you then blaming Ronaldo? Clearly, they're the issue. They've been here for a long period, and you got a serial winner who's won everything in their game and doesn't need to prove himself to nobody, asking more of you. And these players are actually, like, their rebuttal is, oh, he's asking for too much. He's causing too many issues. And for me personally, it's just been a massive issue. It's been a massive issue, and people kind of been getting away with it. A shocking Liverpool team that finished 5 points behind us last season as well. Imagine they had better January than us. Facts. We actually don't deserve Ronaldo. I wouldn't be opposed to him leaving with Pogba, but I think a lot of players need to leave. 1 assist. 1 assist, 20 touches per game. I don't know who that's referring to. We've already read that one. Have I missed something? That's why we need to start the protest first, so that they can get rid of the Glazers before we appoint a new manager and new players as well. Agree with that. Yeah, facts. Hopefully, that's in the works. But obviously, I don't have a big enough platform to really push that forward. But yeah, so I just want to quickly get that one out there. Obviously, keep slapping the like, subscribe to the channel, that good stuff. But listen, let's move away from Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's talk about. I'm trying to think. I've just there's people in the chat saying stuff about Elanga. I don't even know if I should address that quickly. No, let's go on to Ralph Rangnick. What are your thoughts on the World Cup draw? Just quickly, my thoughts on the World Cup draw. Well, England have got a fantastic group. First things first, it's good to see the Suarez and Ghana revenge 2.0. That's going to be an interesting affair. Switzerland v Serbia, another good story there to be had. In general, the draw's not too bad. To be quite frank honest with you, for most teams, I don't really think there's a group of death. I think I think Spain and Germany have got a decent, tricky group. Portugal, tricky group. Obviously Uruguay, Ghana, and I can't remember the other team in their group, but it's not as plain sailing. So a couple of teams have got tricky groups, but overall, the draw wasn't really too difficult for anyone in particular. But listen, let's talk about Ralph Rangnick. A lot of people are talking about. Ralph Rangnick and obviously the job he's done at Manchester United. For me personally, I've got to be honest, I am somewhat disappointed with the job he's done, and I'm not going to sit and just completely back him because he's definitely to blame for yesterday's performance. It was well below par, and I would be criticising Oli if you'd be putting a performance under Oli in that manner, so I can't sit and be a hypocrite. So Ralph was definitely to blame for yesterday, but in the overall picture and the overall context of his tenure, which I'm seeing a lot of people saying he's got less points than Oli. Let's apply context to this. At the end of the day, the players have let us down. I don't understand why we were blaming the interim manager over the players. The players, without a shadow of a doubt, are the reason we are in this mess. You can sit here and blame Ralph Rangnick all you want for his selections or his tactics and approach, but at the end of the day, the players need to be held accountable. The board needs to be held accountable for the mess that we are in. It's easy to blame Ralph Rangnick. We always blame the manager. I blamed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for God knows how long, but a lot of these players are not good enough. And for me personally, Ralph came into a team where there were so many issues. We had number 11 scenario going on. We had the dressing room in rest. The Martial wanted to leave. He wasn't happy. Van der Beek wanted to leave. He wasn't happy. Rashford's not been anywhere near good enough compared to where he was. We got a Pogba situation with his contract looming over. There were so many issues that Ralph had to deal with. And it's just been an absolute mess from start to finish. Has he helped himself? Absolutely not. Is he culpable for some of the performances? Absolutely. But the overall picture for me is Ralph is not to blame, really. Maybe 10%. But the rest of the blame is on the players, the board, and some of it is on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for actually signing half of the players, and they're nowhere near good enough. But yeah, for me personally, Ralph was definitely culpable for us dropping points yesterday. Made no mistake about that, and I'm not going to shy away from that. I wasn't happy with the selection prior to the game. I wasn't happy with the way he set us up. The fact that McTominay is playing over Matic baffled me. The fact that Bruno was playing in a false nine, didn't agree with that either. And it was too late. He made the changes too late. I thought he had to make a change at halftime. He waited until 60th minute to bring on Rashford. Whether he had an impact or not is a different story. But nevertheless, the changes came too late and we dropped points once again. And he has to take blame for that. But where is the intensity? Where's the hunger? Where's the desire? We always talk about the players, tweeting and PRing about, let's fight for the badge and let's fight until the last moment and let's fight until blah, blah, blah. I'm sick of hearing those words, man. I just seen Pogba post one, and I'm Pogba's biggest fan, but that was completely out of taste. Oh, we need to fight until the final whistle, blah, blah. Bro, just do me a favor. Just stop. Just stop tweeting about nonsense, about fighting. We ain't fighting for nothing. You said yourself the season's dead, and you were right. Just leave it as that. Just leave it as that, my guy. And I mean, it's just, where's the intensity? We needed to win that game yesterday, and only the last 5 minutes of the game, i.e. 90 minutes plus, I felt like Man United actually wanted to try and win that game. That was the only moment in the game that I actually felt that the players wanted to win that game. And apart from that, the 90 minutes prior to that, we were absolutely pathetic for large parts of that game. Lethargic, lackadaisical, big word for me that I'm not going to lie, and I pronounced it right. Let's go. But in general, just no desire, no hunger, no passion, no intensity, most importantly, no urgency on the ball whatsoever in the first half in particular. It was basically a training game between two poor teams, let's be real. They just happened to be slightly better on the day. We allowed Leicester to come to Old Trafford and dominate the game. I just don't understand, regardless of what the stats say. I know we statistically says we had more possession, but for me personally, they just controlled the game. And for me, that's unacceptable to a team like Leicester at home. And it's not good enough, to be quite honest with you, from the players to the manager. But the players, man, they got it. Where's the professional pride? I mean, we just got slapped in the last game against Atletico Madrid. Absolutely humiliated the fans once again. Out of the Champions League, pretty much out of every competition possible. The only thing we potentially had a chance of fighting for was the top four, which is nothing for me personally to be proud of. And they can't even show a bit of desire. Fred was the only real one on the page that showed anything in terms of trying to make something happen. People would say Bruno tried something in the second half. But for me, as I said, too little, too late. Where was that performance in the first half? And overall, nowhere near good enough. Luke Shaw... Speculation, Luke Shaw might be getting a new contract. Why? What has he done to merit a new contract? Bruno Fernandes just got a new contract. Fair enough, it is what it is. But Luke Shaw, what has Luke Shaw done to deserve a new contract and a bumper contract? More money. What has he done? This is the issue at the club. Why are players getting rewarded with absolutely shocking performances? Once again, this club never learns from his mistakes, and that's what the issue is for me. I mean, players like Luke Shaw putting in bang average performances, below average performances, and he's getting a new contract. You've been serious. Is this club actually real? Like, get rid of him. Play Alvaro Fernandez. Play the youth. I don't care. Play anyone but Luke Shaw. This guy is taking the mix. Tellers as well. Shocking, man. Absolutely shocking player. Absolutely. I wanted him at Man United as well. That's an L for me, and I'll hold that. But what the hell, man? Luke Shaw, absolutely embarrassing. Like, he's getting a new contract. Done nothing yesterday. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Shighton letting Martial go looking costly mistake. I mean, I don't agree with that comment. I wanted Martial to stay, to be honest. That's something that I said consistently. But I don't think it's a mistake that we're sitting here like, oh, he would have changed the course of the season. He might have had a bit of a positive impact. Let's not lie, because obviously you can't do any worse than what's on the pitch. But let's not sit here and say he's pulling up any trees at Sevilla, because he's definitely not. I mean, for me personally, Martial's another player that hasn't shown me enough. I'm massively disappointed. I've been a fan of Martial since day dot. I've backed him since day dot. And he's gone to Sevilla and he's done nothing. Like, let's be real, he's not pulled up any trees. He's done the bog standard 6, 7 out of 10, give or take. And I expect more from him. Let's be real. And okay, maybe if he was at Man United, he might have offered more, but his heart wasn't in it. His head wasn't in it. And we don't need another player like that in the dressing room, because at the moment we've got too many of those guys that their heart isn't set at Man United. Their head is completely elsewhere. And for me personally, I'm just not interested, to be quite honest with you. Shout out Waj for showing the love. Absolutely abysmal performance from the whole team. These players need to look at themselves. Excuses, FC, love from India. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for showing love. Absolutely, bro. There's no excuse yesterday. Honest to God, for any player on the pitch, I'm not going to sit here and make excuse for any of them. Like I said, Fred's the only one that did anything yesterday, realistically. And arguably, you could say Maguire had a decent game, but I mean, De Gea made an absolutely phenomenal save, to be fair to him. But the point being is, who actually wants to be at Manchester United? McTominay, nowhere near good enough. Absolutely shocking performance once again. Absolutely disgraceful. The way he plays football, it makes me upset knowing that I didn't give football a real chance, because he's giving me hope that I could have actually made it, because he's so negative on the ball. It's unbelievable. I can't believe how negative he's on the ball. Like, okay, I understand you don't have confidence or whatever it may be, but the amount of sideways passes this guy's doing, man, killing the attack. Play the ball through the line, man. Play it through the line. What is he doing? There was a period that he did a fantastic play, beats 2-3 players, and then he plays the ball sideways. He actually kicked out of play as well. But the fact that that's even in his thought, Pogba's making a running behind. Okay, granted, he might have not timed his run perfectly, but play the ball in behind, bro. There's massive space. It's not like they were playing a low block, a low line. They were playing a high line. Just play the ball into space, and hopefully Pogba can get onto it. Hopefully we can try and attack and create something. But no, playing it safe constantly, bro. If you're playing in that position at Manchester United, you can't play it safe. You have to have the cojones to try and hurt the opposition. And we were so safe the entirety of that game. And a lot of that comes from the base in the middle of the park. For me, absolutely unacceptable. At Manchester United, I don't care about Pogba. I don't care about McTominay. I don't care about Fred, Bruno, whoever it may be. If you're playing for Manchester United and the shirt's too heavy for you, leave. Simple as. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's my favorite player. I don't care if it's the player I criticize consistently. It doesn't matter. These guys need to get cleared out because they're not good enough. Pogba wanting 400 to 500k wages or whatever it may be. No, bro, you are not worth that amount of money. No player in my eyes is worth that much money. Ronaldo, maybe. Messi, maybe. But apart from them two, no one else would be on that kind of wages, especially at Manchester United when everybody is piss poor. So no, Pogba, just you need to leave. Simple as that. I'm not hearing it. I don't care what he's done at Man United. I don't care if he's been a flop or whatnot. Just go. Just go, bro. I don't care. You're not worth 400k a week. You're not. No one is in that shirt in that squad. Nobody's worth that kind of money. I'm sorry. If we start paying 400 for Pogba, then forget it, man. The club is absolutely finished. Honest to God, like, there's no way we can sanction that kind of money. It's absolute disgrace. But coming back to Luke Shaw, the fact that we're handing contracts out to, players like that who've done absolutely nothing. If anything, they've been absolutely embarrassing. And they're getting rewarded. I mean, that just says everything that is wrong at Manchester United Football Club. And for me, it epitomizes all the issues. The club is not moving in the right direction. The club has no intention of moving in the right direction. The club has no intention of making the right decisions. Let him go. Why is he getting a reward? Oh, my God. Doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. Let's get some of your comments saying. Obviously, there's quite a few comments. Usman from starting them yesterday. Who stays for you next season? What a fantastic question. Who stays? I would say David De Gea, potentially, arguably, if you can get better keeper, that's fine. Unbelievable save, but De Gea maybe. I'd say Varane. I know a lot of people are criticizing Varane. Again, absolutely baffling opinion that people are actually criticizing Varane. You play with McFred, Delot, and Luke Shaw, Maguire. You play with them and you tell me if you can keep clean sheets week in, week out. Absolute myth, mate. They're not good enough, most of them. Varane, Sancho. You know what? Fred actually showed me yesterday. He's got a bit about him, to be honest. I'm not saying he's a starter. He's definitely not a starter. But I'd keep him as a squad player because you know what? We can't get rid of everyone, firstly. But I'd keep him as a squad player. I mean, people are going to say Bruno Fernandes, I guess. That's a given. But I don't even care if Bruno goes at this point, to be honest. I've had enough of all of them. Pogba, obviously, he can go. Delot, not good enough. I thought he did okay for a spell in 10 minutes, but not good enough. Crossing from him, nowhere near good enough. He got rinsed as well a few times. I can't remember who was playing on that side. Who was playing for Barnes? That's it. Barnes rinsed him a couple of times. Fullback's not good enough. Get rid of them both. We need proper replacements. Elanga, for me, I've actually said that I would keep him, but he's a squad player. A lot of people are actually hating him at the moment, saying he's not good enough. I said already, he's like another Jesse Lingard. He's nothing special. He'll be a bit part player, and he's only 19 as well, so I think people are being a bit too harsh on the lad. I'm not going to lie, but I understand people's frustration in general with his ability in terms of like he's not good enough, he's nothing special, etc. I do understand what people are saying. I don't think he's special either, but like I said, you need players like that in the squad. He just does a job in it. He's like a part of you song potentially. So I think people need to chill out a bit with his thoughts. This club used to be a club that achieved some great titles, and that's just joke, heartbreaking, and pathetic. Absolutely. What do we think of Rashford? I think Rashford was going to score. I mean, Rashford for me is just a void of confidence, and the fact that he didn't start yesterday is just another. It's just another message to Rashford that he's not welcome at Manchester United from Ralph. The fact that he can't start when we've got no fit strikers is absolutely perplexing to me. I mean, I'm absolutely baffled that he didn't start. I personally was one of the few people that wanted him to start that game. I understand why people were saying he shouldn't start because he's not really covered himself in any sort of glory or anything really or positivity in recent weeks or months or whatever it may be. So I get it, but sometimes you just got to play to what you've got available. And I think Rashford, that's a message to Rashford that he's not. He's just not welcome at the moment, which isn't great for him. It's not great for his confidence, but he's not helped himself. So I can't really sit here and defend him either. I'm not defending any of the players, to be honest. I'm not going to sit and defend any of the players. Another comment here from Shakar. Also, do you think, Osman, that if the players would have known about who will be there next season, the players could perform. Because all we see is the excuse from players. No, absolutely not. I do not think that whatsoever. It's just another excuse for the players. Absolutely unacceptable. They knew what was on the line. They knew we had to win the game, knowing that Arsenal got 2 games in hand of us, and they completely bottled it. I mean, the fact that we're 3 points behind Arsenal FC with them having 2 games in hand is an absolute disgrace. The fact that we're below Spurs is an absolute disgrace. So for me personally, no excuses whatsoever for the players. They're just not good enough, and a lot of them need to be cleared out. And I said this before, and I'll say it again: we need a wholesale changes in this team. I'm not hearing 3 or 4 players, and I'm not saying it's going to take one summer window. It's going to take a while, but in the next 18 months, only maybe 2-3 players have to survive, 5 at a max. We need to get clear out this squad, completely clear out, and that goes for everyone's favourites: the Pogbas, the Rashfords, the Brunos, the Martials, Ronaldo, Cavani, etc., etc. And I want them all gone, basically, pretty much. Like I said, Varane, Sancho, maybe Bruno, maybe Alanga and De Gea, like 5 players. Keep them 5 potentially. Get rid of everybody else. I'm not having it. I'm not interested. Rashford for me, not done enough. Martial for me, not done enough at Sevilla to suggest he has any desire to really kick on as a football player. He seems like he's lost his love for the game. But again, remains to be seen if the new manager wants to keep him. And obviously, I love Cristiano Ronaldo, but I don't want him to play Europa League. So I'll let him go as well. I mean, I'd imagine he wants to go as well. But yeah, listen, let's talk about. We get Ten Hag named 3 areas we have to strengthen. Oh God. We need more than 3 areas. Centre back, CDM, them 2 have to be strengthened in some. I mean, it's without a shadow of a doubt. Centre back, CDM, and I say centre mid probably actually. Yes, the 2 midfielders and a centre back without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. We need Terry Turner vegetables. All my brothers are here. What the hell's going on? Right. Okay. We do indeed. I've completely lost. That's completely thrown me off what I was about to say next. Right, let's talk about Ten Hag and Pochettino very briefly, because obviously neither have been confirmed. It does seem like Ten Hag is the more likely manager to come through to Manchester United. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the situation is with the new manager, what their thoughts are. This comment here from Sammy: fullbacks to left back. Yeah, both of them need to be replaced. I've had enough. Like I said, play Alvaro Fernandez for the rest of the season. I mean, if Shaw is injured or whatever it may be, I don't want to see Tellers been getting games. Just throw Alvaro Fernandez in. Just throw him in. Let him play. So for me personally, yeah, just let him play. Absolutely no point just sticking with Tellers. He's quite clearly nowhere near the standard of the football club. At least blood some of the youth and give them an opportunity to play some bloody minutes. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, coming back to Ten Hag and Poch, literally all I've written on my phone is Ten Hag and Poch. Why would they come? Why would they come? I mean, let's just look at yesterday's performance. And if you're a manager and you're linked to Manchester United, which both of them are heavily at the moment, why would you look at that project and say, no, what? That entices me? Because that Manchester United as a club, for me, look worse than the Titanic sinking. It's absolutely horrific how bad we are falling. It's absolutely horrific. We are sinking at completely outrageous knots and speed. It's just nowhere near an enticing project. How can you look at that and think, no, what, I fancy going to Manchester United? I actually think about it, like in terms of, that's a great project. I can turn around. Obviously, you have self-belief and all those things, and I get that, and I respect that people believe that they can come in and change the fortunes of a club. But for me personally, Manchester United is an absolute definition of poison chalice. I mean, it's not a quick fix for starters. The fans are not patient. The board is not backing the manager. There's absolutely no structure. A lot of the players don't want to be here. A lot of the players are on crazy wages. A lot of the players aren't good enough to wear the shirt. It's a complete overhaul of a squad with a board that has no capabilities and no experience to overhaul a squad. So for me, I just can't see why a manager would want to come. I can't see why Ten Hag and Poch would come. If anything, I just think they're idiots. I'm not going to lie. If either of them come, I just think they've got a screw loose up here, because at the moment, there's no way you can look at Man United as a project and think, no, what, that is the one for me, because there's too many issues at the club. I mean, you got, for example, the captaincy, Maguire issue. what do you do with Harry Maguire? I don't think the new manager comes in and takes the captaincy off him and potentially sells him straight away. I mean, that's going to happen over a period of time. I would like to hope, but that again, that's just like a separate issue, and that's like one of like 99 issues. And for me, the Maguire thing, man. Why is he captain? He's absolutely embarrassing. The club is so embarrassing. The fact that Maguire is the captain just epitomizes the absolute mess that this club is in. He needs to go, along with his captaincy is going to be gone as well. We need a complete clear out, but I just don't see how Ten Hag and Poch would come into this and really have a massive impact. I can't see either of them coming in and having a success. I know a lot of people saying Rafa's failed, which is understandable, but a lot of it is out of his hands. I mean, some of it definitely is within his hand, 15 to 20%, no doubt. But a lot of it is just stuff that he's just inherited, a mess, and he's had to deal with the tools that he's been given or the cards that he's been dealt. And at the end of the day, it's not making excuses for Ralph, but the real crux of the issue at the Man United is not the new manager. It's the players, it's the board, it's the lack of structure, it's the lack of identity, a lack of direction, and all these things are not a quick fix. It's not as simple as a Ten Hag or a Pochettino coming in and waving a magic wand and just fixing everything within 6-7 months. It's going to take a long time, and have the fans got the patience to uphold another overhaul of a squad? I don't think we have, and have the fans got the patience to trust a new manager? Because Ralph Rangnick, with a few performances getting questioned left, right, and centre, so I don't think the fans are going to have the patience for Poch or Ten Hag to come in and really have an impact and really change the fortunes of this football club, because a lot of the fans are going to probably write them off after a couple of bad performances. And for me personally, it's going to become extremely toxic next season, because I can't see us getting any better. I think it's going to get a lot worse before we get better. And I feel for the next manager. Everyone knows that I want Ten Hag. But I'm not going to sit here and say Pochettino comes in and, I'm not going to sit and criticize him, because how can you criticize him? It's such a big mess, and I don't expect anything from him in the first season, because he's going to have to rip it up, and I don't think he's going to get the luxury of having that opportunity to rip it up and start again, or potentially try and work towards starting again, because the board is so incompetent and they're so against running the club the way it should be run, i.e. a proper football club. All they care about is milking the club dry and ensuring that they get money. And for me, that is extremely apparent by the fact that Darren Fletcher's there. Phil Mitchell's still there. I mean, Phil Mitchell's still there. What else do I need to say? Why is he still there? Mike Phelan is still at Manchester United. Why? Ollie got sacked so long ago, and Mike Phelan somehow survived the sacking. What has he done under Ollie's tenure to assume that he is capable of remaining in a job? What has he done? Ralph has come out and said he doesn't even know what the guy does. It's just absolutely shocking. I just don't understand it. The club is run so poorly. Shout out to Mebs. Thank you very much for the kind words. Shout out to Ali Akhtar for the donation. And obviously, slap a like and subscribe to the channel, people. But what has Mike Phelan done? I don't understand why he's still there. And also, just to add, what has Darren Fletcher done? What has Darren Fletcher done? I don't understand. Honest to God, Darren Fletcher is meant to be with Murtaugh doing the stuff behind the scenes. I see him in training doing rondos. I see him on the bench fighting with the referee. I see him fighting with fans. Why is he there? That's not in his job title. When he applied for the job, it doesn't say you're going to sit in the dugout, my guy. It doesn't say you're going to be on the training ground doing rondos with the players. It doesn't say you're going to high-five the players and increase the vibes at Man United. That's not part of his job description. And it epitomizes everything at Manchester United that is wrong. We have no structure, and we got people in the wrong places who are incapable of doing the job. Why is Fletcher there? Job for the boys. He got no experience. We got people that aren't football people running the club, and then they're putting a football person, i.e. Darren Fletcher, who's got absolutely no experience in the role, and he's going to fail, obviously, because he's got no experience. This isn't work experience, bro. This is not work experience, and it's just, dear God. What is he doing? What is Fletcher doing, man? Why is he there? This is what I mean. There's too many issues. Poch going to come in. I guarantee, let's just say Poch comes in, right? Guarantee someone like Fletcher might feel it. Maybe Fletcher will somehow survive. Why? Get rid of everything. Get rid of what Ramsey's come in, right? Who's meant to be the set pieces coach. And Man United have not scored. I think we scored 2 set pieces since this guy's arrived in about 170 attempts. I mean, that's absolutely disgraceful. Lord knows what they're working on in the training ground, because I could have done that job, because nothing's come to fruition, and it's quite evident that whatever he's doing in the training ground is not working. So another example, just that wrong people getting hired, and maybe it's not even his fault. Maybe the players are just shit. Like, honestly, it might not even be his fault. It might just be on the players. They're not capable of, executing his plan. I don't know. But either way, the club is absolutely embarrassing from top to bottom. Backroom staff, clear it out. I mean, the board, please, I beg, give Ralph an opportunity. Before I came on here, seen reports that Ralph Rangnick may not even get any power. Apparently, Ralph Rangnick might only be in for 2 days a month or something stupid like that. So why? The only reason fans like myself were happy about Ralph's appointment was because we felt, obviously, we knew we were potentially going to get blindsided here because it's Man United, but we had a bit of hope that we're actually bringing in someone who knows what he's doing upstairs. He actually knows how to bring players in and recruit properly. He has a proven track record of being a fantastic recruitment, overseeing recruitment. He has a fantastic record of recruiting players. He's got a proven record of finding gems in the German league, and potentially could do that at Man United. That was the main reason. I didn't sit there and say, yes, we're bringing Ralph Rangnick. He's a fantastic interim manager. I didn't think that for a second. I didn't really care. I expected him to get top 4, and he has been underwhelming. There's no denying that. But the reason I was so happy was because I felt like we actually moving in the right direction, and we're bringing in a person that actually knows what they're doing higher up. And now that person, Ralph Rangnick, potentially has got no power, which doesn't surprise me. But it was a bit of hope that Man United actually are making the right call, putting people in the right position that are football people for the first time, who've got experience and actual pedigree. So for me, club is completely rotten. It goes without saying, really, to be honest. But yeah, coming back to the performance yesterday, just get rid of most of them. If not 95% of the squad, I want it gone. 95%. You guys can make up the 5%, which whoever you want it to be. But for me, get rid of most of them. Nowhere near good enough. Absolute shocker. Glazers out as always. Absolutely clueless. Completely ruined the club. They don't care. Do not care about Manchester United Football Club. As long as they get their paycheck at the end of the month or end of the week or whenever they take out the dividends, I don't even know. They couldn't care less about the performance on the pitch. They couldn't care less about, appointing the right people. They couldn't care less about Luke Shaw getting a new contract, because why does it matter? It's not coming out of their pocket. They don't care about Pogba getting 400k. They couldn't care less, because none of these things affect them. So for me personally, it's unacceptable, first and foremost. But secondly, we're just finished. That, as the title suggests, Manchester United as a club are absolutely finished. We need a miracle next season. We need a miracle in summer to really, pick us up from the ashes, to rise from the phoenix, as they would say. We need an absolute miracle. We need God. We need Jesus. We need any faith. Any your faith. Pray to that God. Whatever your faith is, just pray. It is a month of Ramadan, so I'm going to try and make the most of that. Obviously, I'm not going to waste my praise on Manchester United. I'll take that one for free. But listen, I'm just going to go through some of your comments. How is the club is such a huge mess? I mean, I feel like I've answered that already. I want the club to be playing at the highest level to the Champions League. Never going to happen. The fact that we're extending contracts before managers in place speaks volumes about who is in charge of the football. Absolutely. I mean, this is completely spot on. I mean, the fact that Bruno Fernandes' contract was renewed, for me, I did have an issue with Bruno Fernandes staying, but again, what's to say the new manager wants to keep him as a key player? We don't even know. We don't even know who the new manager is. The new manager might not want Bruno Fernandes. We don't know. The new manager doesn't even have a say on it, by the looks of it. Luke Shaw getting a new contract, as I've said countless times in this video. Why? What has he done to warrant a new contract? And what's to say the new manager wants to keep him? Because I can guarantee, if I'm the new manager, I ain't keeping Luke Shaw, because this guy's been at Man United for 8 years and he's had 18 good months. Maybe a season right at the start, but 18 good months, and people, including myself, just raving about the guy. So, get rid of him, man. I think the new manager has to be given full control over the next rebuild. Otherwise, there's no. Absolutely. I believe Ten Hag has set. I don't. Again, this is just what I've read on socials, but I believe Ten Hag has asked for a lot of control in terms of the transfers and the recruitment. I mean, if he doesn't get that control, what is the point? What is the point hiring him? It's absolutely pointless. I mean, we need people to make decisions that benefit the club, and we need a manager to come in to actually contribute to the new players. I mean, Ten Hag, hypothetically, if he comes in, he needs to have time and he needs to have the tools to sit down and say, I need X, Y, Z player because it suits my system. Not, oh, let's buy X, Y, and Z because he's going to sell shirts. For example, Dybala. I won't be surprised if United sign Dybala this summer, honest to God, because we know he'll sell shirts. We know he's the kind of player that people would just be like buzzing over. And that's not what we need at Manchester United. We need people that are going to come in and fit a system. We need to actually do this properly now. I've had enough of trying to buy players to sell shirts. Buy players to suit a system. So if Ten Hag, if Pochettino are sat there saying, you know, X, Y, and Z, I need X, Y, and Z because they're going to fit my system. Okay, granted, they're not going to sell shirts, but he's a perfect player to get the best of my team. He's a perfect piece to the puzzle. He's a cog that we need at Manchester United to help us get forward. And the board just turned around and said, no, we don't want X, Y, and Z. He doesn't suit what Man United is about. I don't care what Man United think they're about. Buy the players that the people need. It's as simple as that. Make no mistake about it. Shout out to Chops. Let's get the likes up. Big up, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. United Way, love the show. 15 likes so far. Let's get to 20. If you haven't already, slap a like on that video. I appreciate you as always. Thank you, Wajid. Showing love. I appreciate guys. 117, 3 more likes to get to 20. I would appreciate that. But listen, keep getting your questions in. Obviously, I'm just going to quickly look at my notes. I feel like I covered everything, but if there's any other questions that you do have, please put them in the comment section as I'm going through. But yeah, as Akil said, we definitely need to give the new manager full control. I think it's important that if we are going to try and move forward, that we actually try and do it properly. Another thing, stop trying to take shortcuts. Man United have been trying to take shortcuts for God knows how many years. Let's buy X, Y, and Z. They'll help us catch up to a certain team. Don't worry about what the next man's doing. Let's just focus on ourselves. Let's focus on doing what's right for Manchester United. Do not take shortcuts. You cannot cheat success. You can't cheat it. It's not something that comes to you because, you know, you threw money at it or something. You've got to do it properly. You've got to build the foundations up properly. There's no cheating success in life. It's as simple as that. Everyone knows that. Anyone who's been successful, you can ask them. They didn't take any shortcuts. Yes, you may get lucky in times and, you know, certain scenarios, you may get extremely fortunate. But with most things in life, it takes hard work, it takes proper preparation, and it takes the correct direction, patience, and it takes the right people to bring success. It just, you know, you got to have the right mindset. You got to have the intentions of trying to take us in the direction of being successful. The goal has to be trying to win the league. The goal is not about getting top 4 and trying to just sustain us as a top 4 team. That is not what Manchester United is about. Rip it up. Start the foundations with the goal being we are going to win the league in 3, 4, 5 years, or whatever it may be, and work towards that every single day, every single season, every single month, wherever it may be, every single transfer window. Work towards that end goal, i.e. winning the Premier League. And I feel like Manchester United have not done that. They've not done it under Oli. They've not done it X, Y, and Z. They haven't put in the people in the right places to implement a clear plan to try and get us back to where we belong, which is at the top of the table. And that is something that, you know, has to change. Not being in Europe will give the new manager more power while dealing with the board, potentially. I don't think finishing at top 4 will be such a bad idea. Historically, the club spends more when we are out of the Champions League, and Richard Arnold will want to start on a high. I mean, Richard Arnold can start on a high all he wants. Like I said, in his head, starting on a high might be signing Dybala, and for me, that's going to be the biggest mistake we do. Massive fan of Dybala, always have been. Think he's a top player, but not for Manchester United, because we do not need these big names. We do not need Richard Arnold trying to come in and basically do what Ed Woodward did, which is sign these guys for no other reason but to sell shirts. I mean, bring players in that are going to complement the squad, which is difficult because the squad's in absolute shambles. Let's make no mistake about it. But bring the right people in, please. I beg. Stop with the nonsense. Big man show. Absolutely love the vibe. Thank you, bro. As always, appreciate the support. We need the best person in each position on the pitch and behind the scenes. Fact. How many youth players are ready for the first 11? Have seen under 23s. I have seen under 23s recently, actually, because I was commentating. Just want to throw that in there. Yeah. So regarding the under-23s, actually, I mentioned it very briefly at some point in this podcast, but for me personally, it's very simple. I just give them all opportunities to play. I mean, Hannibal Medjugorje, Alvaro Fernandez, throw him in. McNeil's doing fairly well in front of goal within the youth setup. Okay, granted, it's a completely different level, but why not put him on the bench and potentially sub him on for 10, 15 minutes? Give the guy an opportunity, because at the moment, the first team don't want it bad enough. There's no hunger, there's no passion, and there's no desire to make an impact. And to be quite honest with you, there's not really anything to play for. Unless Arsenal lose to Crystal Palace tomorrow night, top 4 is 100% gone. If Arsenal win that game tomorrow with 6 points behind them, and they've got 2 games in hand. So for me, I would, without a shadow of a doubt, give them an opportunity to potentially show what they're about. I mean, I ended it what we got to lose, because we ain't playing for anything. Have you considered doing a fans phone in live? Mebs, I normally used to do a fans phone in live. I'm just trying to build up my viewership again, inshallah. And obviously, once we've done that, we will do that. Potentially, we'll put it in the obviously in the chat. Sorry, I lost my trail of thought. Yeah, so that is something we definitely will do. So please do subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for that. Like I said, because it is Ramadan currently, I'm not working as much as I normally would, because I've kind of just taken a month off, to be honest, which is very fortunate for me. So I'm going to be uploading very regular content, probably every other day, if not every day. So there will be a couple of fan calling shows. So if you want to be a part of that, you need to be subscribed to the channel to get onto that. Ragnar must start giving debuts to youth players instead of these overhyped superstars. This season is over anyways. Let's build for the next season. Absolutely. I would just say, just scrap it and just give Alvaro Fernandez, for example. Like I said earlier, if Luke Shaw is unavailable, I don't want to see Tellez play another game this season. Let Alvaro Fernandez have the last 7-8 games. Why does it matter? We need to see more of the panel. 2 likes to get to 20 likes, guys. Let's do this. Thank you very much for all the support. Listen, we're going to finish it there, because I'm speaking too much and I need a drink now, and I'm fasting, so that's not a great combination. I just said where to like, I don't know, actually. On the screen, somewhere on the screen says drop a like. I don't know, just hit the thumbs up button. But listen, I'm gonna wrap it up there. I just want to say massive thank you to everyone that's tuning in. Obviously, if you didn't tune in at the start of the show, this is my 100th podcast, my United podcast, that is. Obviously, we have done other podcasts before, but in this series, this is the 100th one, which is a fantastic milestone. I'm extremely proud of what we've achieved on this channel. Yes, things have kind of stagnated, and yes, things have dipped in terms of viewership, subscriber count, all those things, but one thing that has stayed very prominent is the support from you guys, the very loyal fan base, and loyal people within the community. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your support and continued support. Like I said, if you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be uploading pretty much every day this week, if not every other day, because I've got so much time on my hands now. Probably 1 o'clock. And if not, in the evening as well, hopefully, after I've opened my fast. Just want to finish on saying thank you for tuning in. Of course, if you're watching this on repeat, get your comments in down below. And also just want to say Ramadan Mubarak. Inshallah, it's a blessed month for you and your families. Thank you, everyone, to my 3 lovely brothers. Let's go. Elbow, cuff. I don't know what that means, but I think I know what it means. I feel like I know what it means. Awesome show, bro. Loved it. Really enjoyed the show. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It's been your boys, man. Be back tomorrow, inshallah, at 10 o'clock at night, with Kish and the rest of the gang for the roundup. Straight after the Arsenal game, we'll be back for that. If not, we'll be back in the morning, nevertheless. Also, back on Tuesday late at night with Kish. We're going to be talking Pogba, Ali, and this is going to be a good debate show. So that's going to be a great show. So make sure you tune in for that one. And also follow me on my socials, Usman Talk United, as you can see on screen. TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll post there every day as well. I'm trying to sort my shit out. Trying to be a bit more. I'm trying to be more consistent with my content. And as I've said, I've got a bit more time, so I will be doing that. So feel free to check out